Ladies and gentlemen, I am SidAlpha. Here we are, again. Yet another DMCA strike from yet another horrible developer attempting to silence any and all criticism they can in a vain attempt to prevent that criticism from damaging their bottom line. Now, for those of you that have not been following the events of the past few weeks, please allow me to elaborate, as my video discussing this exact topic is the recipient of the DMCA strike you are seeing on your screen now, and given this developer's proclivity for issuing DMCA strikes, I'm certain you'll understand why this video lacks gameplay footage. But before we continue talking about how this came about, I wanted to speak to you for a brief moment about the DMCA takedown system on YouTube. These DMCA strikes are a highly destructive thing for any YouTuber to have on their channel. YouTube's 3 strikes and you're out system can and will delete a channel with 3 DMCA claims regardless of whether they're fraudulent or valid. This account deletion will remove all evidence of your channel's existence on YouTube. Now, this is an ever-present threat that all YouTubers face on a daily basis, and one that can and will destroy livelihoods. Now, followers of my channel have heard me speak loudly and often about how horrendous and draconian the DMCA system is, and how the broken system that YouTube refuses to abandon can easily be taken advantage of by anyone. One need only have a valid email address to be able to abuse the system to silence criticism or competition. Now, this same system has been used against my channel very recently. An asset flipper that went by the original name Dentola Studios issued a fraudulent DMCA strike on the video where I had posted the evidence, along with providing links for citation and independent verification, that showed that this person was not a developer at all, merely a shite-hawk asset flipper. This person also engaged in the time-honored tradition of the amoral games developer and engaged in massive waves of comment deletion on their Greenlight page, changing the name in a vain attempt to render my provided links useless, and has also engaged in vote botting. Now, I've been informed that Jeff Stook, as he is now called, has received his own DMCA strikes on the Steam Greenlight system by the original, real developers of the 2 assets that he had attempted to pose as his own creation. Now, fortunately for me, that strike cleared off of my channel and everything was in good standing before this strike hit. This claim, issued by the developers of Fur Fun, has been issued along the same vein as Dentola Studios, and not only that, their actions have been remarkably similar with one notable exception. The game's co-developer and publisher is Dallas of Dallas Review, a Spanish YouTuber with millions of subscribers under his belt. Dallas Review has a reputation for exceptionally toxic behavior and is reported as being amongst the worst that YouTube has to offer. These developers of Fur Fun, formerly QPie Jazzy, have been mired in controversy for a while, with a Kickstarter that plagiarized several paragraphs from the yooka-laylee Kickstarter, to deleting comments, to Steam key giveaways for fans of Dallas in return for positive reviews, to comment deletion, review key revocation, and of course DMCA takedowns, all in an effort to prevent any form of negative publicity surrounding Fur Fun and its development. There was also the banjo-kazooie sound assets that were in a distributed version of the game. However, those have been since either renamed or removed once they were detected. Now, originally, I'd heavily considered not even producing a video in regards to Fur Fun. To do such a thing when the developer is known to abuse the DMCA claim system would be exceptionally risky. But after giving it some very serious thought, I decided that I would proceed. I've based my channel on standing up for the consumer and offering my voice to help raise awareness, and hopefully pointing out some good games worth playing along the way. I felt that to do otherwise would be to violate the tenets that my channel was based upon, and given I had stated more times than I could remember that I would rather burn my channel to the ground than to violate my morals or ethics, I felt it very much time to put my convictions to the test. And so I did. I posted a video discussing the current controversy surrounding the game and the issues that I had found within the game while showing video footage of Fur Fun for illustrative and review purposes. This video performed well for my channel, garnering over 20,000 views. I know that it's small potatoes in YouTube terms, but it was quite well for my channel. Now, in addition to that, my Steam review rose to the top-rated reviews on the Steam storefront. This review included a link to the video and is most likely what caused the developers to issue the DMCA strike to begin with. Now, this practice within the indie scene is very common for asset flippers and those developers who completely and utterly lack any sort of moral fiber or even a shred of self-respect or personal integrity. I have also covered this exact same thing happening to two other smaller YouTubers in order to lend whatever additional visibility to their channels I could. But even though my channel is still larger than those you typically see affected by these sort of attacks, thanks to the Streisand effect afforded my channel by the Dentola Studios mess that I just recently finished getting sorted out, it was apparently no form of deterrent for Dallas Games. And this is the part that actually managed to turn my stomach a little. The simple fact that Dallas Games or Dallas Review, or whatever channel he happens to be using at any particular moment, is a fellow YouTuber. The same DMCA system that could wipe out any YouTube channel without warning, he is wielding like a hammer in a china shop. Feigning ignorance over the destruction he leaves behind all the while, Dallas, as a YouTuber, should know better. He should be acutely aware of how damaging of an attack this is. He should, at least on a professional or even legal level, if not a moral one, know how wrong it is to silence criticism in this way. Now, I've seen some people comment on videos, including mine, that decry channels such as mine for calling out those who would act in such a way using phrases like, "I'm tired of YouTubers crying, but my free speech." It is disgusting, it is abhorrent, and it is every bit as deplorable as people like Dallas who abuse the DMCA system for their own nefarious ends. Critics, real critics, take no pleasure in pissing all over a broken mess of a game. Critics take no delight in dumping all over someone's hard work. It's a terrible thing to have someone come along and turn their nose up at all of your hard work and use their position and public influence to turn people away from your game. I get it. I understand how that must feel. But at the end of the day, it's not about your feelings or even mine. It's about the consumer. It's about doing what is best for them and providing them with the tools they need to make an informed decision about whether or not to make a purchase. And yes, sometimes we get it wrong. We are human after all, and critiquing a game is a highly subjective process. We don't get it right 100% of the time. But if you have even a shred of integrity, then you would not engage in the most abhorrent behavior that I can imagine. You would not delete comments or revoke keys or engage in perjury simply to quell the rising tide of negativity in regards to your product. No, a moral person would take that criticism and make use of it to improve their game, use it to craft something better, something enjoyable, something that they could step back, look at, and feel genuine pride in. And the result of that would be a product that critics would shout its praises from the mountaintops, identifying that extra effort and dedication. And the consumers would respect you more for it as well, recognizing all that hard work and rewarding it. But Dallas and Doki, which to my mind still sounds like an exceptionally bad porno, do not possess any of these qualities as far as I've been able to determine. They would rather do whatever they can to hide their heinous actions in the shadows while presenting an air of innocence all the while. They are not moral individuals, and they should not be allowed to profit by their actions. Now, I know, ladies and gentlemen, that it might get tiresome so soon after the recent fight with Dentola Studios, but your help is needed again, as I do plan to fight this with all that I have. This isn't some lone Russian attempting to flip some Unity asset. This is a public figure followed by literally millions who is attempting to manipulate the system and subvert the law in order to get their own way. Please like and share this video. Tweet it out. Share it on Reddit, Instagram, Facebook, Vote, Twitter, the bulletin board at work, everywhere people will listen, and ask them to do the same. Help to set an example for people like Dallas to prove to them that this indeed will not end well for them. To show them not that this shouldn't happen, but that it can't happen. That an attack on open critique and the truth is an attack on consumers, an attack on you. And I know some people might say I'm full of myself or that I'm being overly arrogant, but make no mistake, this is exactly what this is. An attack on each and every one of you. So please, not just for my sake, but for yours, do something about it. Well, thank you for watching, ladies and gentlemen. I am SidAlpha, and I will see you next time.